Kayla, the other thing I was going to ask you to do is, can you just give me 5 minutes? Just give me 5, 10, 15, so I can just pace myself where I'm at.
Okay, cool.
Because I can't really see it from where I am.
To go, or
Just
5 minutes been?
5 minutes been, yep, just so I then know, go 25 minutes, and I can either do the tempo at what, yeah, slowly.
Right, so we'll just do...
Yeah, so we're running a little bit behind, but that's okay, that's cool. Oh, I gotta have that on.
So Stephen's making it
Yeah, that's us. So yeah, heaps of the front, Tracy. I don't bite, and I don't spit too far. You'll be fine. I'll try and keep my spit to a minimum.
Right, well, I guess Mike, you to start us off. I'm extremely excited to launch our first lunchbox session. This was just an idea about a month ago, so it's pretty exciting. You'll see on your seat, we've already got the second one planned, so it's all action. My name's Kayla. I am the community activator for the Orchard, so if you have any questions about the space or how it works or anything else like that, come to see me. And just quickly cover off some housekeeping. So
Allow me to be here. What a great innovation this is in Northland. This is amazing, isn't it, for businesses to be able to take up an opportunity such as this. I've been fortunate enough to work with some of the team members in this room, and I know they're passionate about seeing you as business owners in Northland succeed. So it's cool to see that we're bringing new ideas, fresh ideas, and bringing it to Northland. Because you know what Northland's reputation is around the country, unfortunately? It's poor. And we all know that's wrong, correct? Northland rocks. Does it or not? Or we're going to just be, we'll be subtle Northlands and go, yeah, no, we're pretty good. We're pretty good. That's typical Northland response. We're pretty good. Well, anyway, my name is Jamie Rosemergy, and I'm the Learning and Development Manager for Deco New Zealand. Who is a Deco, you may ask, and what does Learning and Development do? Okay, well, Learning and Development is I teach people stuff. Pretty simple, eh? Who is a Deco? A Deco is the third largest employer in the world. To give you a bit of an insight, we employ 1.4 million people a day. And I'm lucky enough to work for the company. And we employ those people in places such as Ferrari, Microsoft, Google, L'Oreal, and then everyday businesses just as yours, which one day could be a Ferrari, a L'Oreal, or a Google. It depends on where you want to be. And what I'm going to talk to you today is about basic recruitment. Now, the word basic and recruitment, you might think, that really doesn't mix, because what is it we're trying to do? We're trying to find people, and it's not that easy. You know, people are different. We're all different. Everyone in this room is a little bit different. Some people tell me I'm a lot different, okay? So we're always trying to find people, and it isn't basic. So in the 30 minutes, I'm just going to try and give you some things, some food for thought, some moments when you're sitting in your chair and you feel like a little prick in your bum and you go, I haven't been doing that in my recruitment. That's the bit where I want you to go, oh, write something down, or make a mental note that you must improve that for your next recruitment decision-making process, okay? Okay, cool. We're going to ask you some questions. I want you to be interactive, so please talk up, please get involved. We are on TVs, and you're all facing this way, so it's my side that's getting captured. So don't worry about that. They won't see you. And don't be afraid if you do have questions. I have left a space at the end. Okay, cool. Let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to ask is, how easy is it, or how long does it take? Let's see if we can get this to work. How long does it take to develop that perfect employee, or just an employee, someone to meet your needs? Anyone in the room has it a guess? How long it takes to develop one of those? Well done. I had written down 5 or 10 minutes of conception. I gave myself a couple of minutes there. I said to my wife when I wrote 5 to 10 minutes, I said I allowed for half an hour of begging. Okay, 5 to 10 minutes of conception, 9 months of incubation, 18 years of education, 4 to 5 years of skills training or education in regards to a tertiary qualification, and then if we're really honest, probably 3 to 4 years to get them to that level there where they're that employee that knows to turn up each day, do their job, can help and assist to allow you to grow your business. Would I be about right in saying that? So what I'm trying to make here is the point that you just can't go down to Kmart or the warehouse and go grab another one. You know, there's agencies such as Adecco who can provide you services such as that, but sometimes we too have to go out and search the market for that person. It's not that easy just going through the drive-through window and saying, yes, I'd have 2 upsizes of those and I'd like 3 electricians and 1 tradesman. They're just not out there. They don't just sit there waiting for you to recruit them. So we have to be very careful about what we're doing. And one thing I'm going to say to you, and unfortunately I'm starting to creep into an age group where the silver hair's coming through here onto the chest, it's starting to get a bit worrying. We're getting to the baby boomers. You know, there's people in this room that are coming up to retirement age, and there's a big gap. There's a huge gap between skilled, the baby boomers, and the next generation coming through. So for us as recruiters, it's going to get tougher and tougher and tougher. For us as business owners who are wanting to achieve our goals and be more successful, it's getting harder. In Northland, we have a high unemployment rate. It's true. Around the rest of the country, it's sitting under 5% at the moment. And out of that 5%, how many do you think are highly skilled tradesmen or skilled professionals just sitting there waiting to work? 0.1. Roughly about that. So the piece of pie that we're looking at is very, very small. So us as recruiters, we're going to have to start tapping into those markets where people are sitting behind their desk and they're going, do I want to change my job? What's going to attract me to leave where I am? I quite like where I am. It's quite a cool place. There's great benefits. There's all these sort of great things. How are we going to attract that person to come and work for us? Who here thinks they do that effectively? Don't be shy to put your hand up. Nice, yep, good. Confidence. That's one of the first things you need to do to be good at basic recruitment, is having confidence in yourself, confidence in your business, and confidence in what you're doing. Because if you don't, how are you going to impart that on the next person coming into your organisation? Make sense? Cool. Oh, you've turned off my little button on the little side. There we go. Oh, look at this. Technology. See, I'd be no good in a tech role. I can't even work the little zipper zapper. But for us as recruiters or business owners, the first question we should ask ourselves is, where do we start if we're going to make a recruitment decision? If I put my hand out to the room, where would you start if you're looking to make a recruitment decision? Anyone, don't be shy, just one thing. Where would you start? Job description. Well done, Tammy. Job description. But I'm going to even say take a couple of steps back from job description and actually say, have you had the discussion, do I actually need this person? And then I want you to ask yourself the question, if I need this person, what do I need them to be able to do? What do I want them to do? What are my must-haves? What are my nice-to-haves? And what if I could really get them to do this, because I really hate having to go get the milk in the morning? You know, what are those things you really need them to be able to do for you and your business? This isn't a singular activity. So those of you in HR sometimes come down from the boss, you go, right, get me 10 widgets. Cool, I can get you 10 widgets. Then they come in, get me 10 of these people. And you go, okay, what do you want those 10 people to be? What do you want them to look like? What do you want them to do within your business? Because believe you me, when recruitment, I've been in this game now for about 10 years, I'll walk into a business and say, tell me about what you're looking for. And they'll say, I want X, Y, Z. Okay, so you want X, Y, Z. Then we start digging a little bit deeper. Then they say to me, I want A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And so we go from A to Z in the one conversation when they've only initially told me that they were looking for X, Y, Z. And then when I say to them, well, how much are you willing to pay this person? X. So they're missing out the Y, Z bit. They're just willing to pay them X. So they've got to be very clear on what, you need to be very clear on what you want and what it looks like. So involve other members of your team. Involve the people that they'll be directly reporting to, and involve people within the organisation to ask questions such as, what is your culture? What is your business goals? What are your business objectives? This is the first step that you must take before you make any decision, before you go to print or before you go to anything else. You need to be clear on what you want and what that person looks like. Why do you think we need to do that? Come on, don't be shy. What? Brilliant. Right fit. Are we going to get it 100% right all the time? No, because our product is people. And the people we're trying to bring in is people. Are we all perfect?
Yes.
Yes, of course. I like your style. I say that to my wife all the time. I'm perfect. And she just knocks me down about 10 pegs every time I say it. But we've all got differences. We've all got some very high skills. We've got some weaknesses, and we've got some opportunities for improvement. Correct? But we need to be clear on what we really need before we make a recruitment decision. And that's including your teams. For some of you smaller businesses, you SMEs, don't just go and hire an admin person because you think you need that because admin is a task and a chore that you do not like. Because it may not be the thing that your business needs. Do not go out and rush out and hire someone full-time if your business cannot afford someone full-time. These are the things you need to be thinking about. Can I afford to do this? And some people don't, and I've seen it happen. You see small to medium enterprises, or even those businesses that are just about to take that next step. They go and make all these rash recruitment decisions, bring on all these people, and they run out of what? Money, and they run out of work. And then they have this stress game where they go, life is great, I've got all these people and all this work, and then, oh no, I've run out of work, but I've got all these people, and they stress, and they do this, and they do this, and life sucks for them. So you need to start thinking about how I do this. Can I afford these people? Okay. If we've got a job, a JD, it makes our life easier. So when we're having our interviews, when we're doing our advertising, it gives us a point of reference that we can refer back to. So what's the next one? Next bit of basic recruitment is actually advertising. Okay? Now I am showing my age again here. Who here remembers The Advocate on a Wednesday and on a Saturday? Yeah? Those of you who are younger in this room, it used to be about this big. Now it's about this big. You know? The reason it used to be this big, it used to be full of what? Situation vacant. You could have any chance of having 200 to 300 jobs at a time in that one paper on a Wednesday and a Saturday. How many do you think you see in there now? 5, 10, 6, if you're lucky. I'm not saying don't advertise in paper. I'm just saying that it's changing. The world is changing. There's this black magic thing. It's called the internet, I think they call it. The World Wide Web. It's called Twitter, it's called LinkedIn, it's called Facebook. If you want to put it all together, it's social media. It is becoming massive. You know how when people get up in the morning, and I see it in my house, my son, my wife, my daughter, I've just got her a tablet, they're all the first thing they do. It's not, good morning, Dad. It's like, is my Apple charged? You know? And like, Dad, can you turn it on? I'm like, oh, no, I can't even work this thing. But it's about social media is changing. The way we look at things is changing. And so we have to keep up with that. And we have to design our advertising to meet with that. If we're looking for recruitment, don't underestimate the power of social media. It's a cheap and cost-effective way to get your message across. Two biggest major players in New Zealand for recruitment and advertising, who can tell me who they are? Seek and Trade Me. Guess what they have that could help you build your business? A website, and they have account managers to help you develop ads and do all that sort of great stuff. Okay? Don't underestimate it. Who here has a company website? Who here drives people to their website? Yeah? Start driving people to your website, because what's another opportunity for you to put adverts up for people looking for jobs? And you can say, hey, look at us, look at all the great things we do. We also got jobs. Use that. Who here has a team of staff? I always like to use that word team. Do you think they could advertise roles for you? Absolutely. Why do you think it's important to use your team? Exactly. And they will also find, if you've got one cool person in your team, they normally hang out with the same like-minded people. Yeah. So they may go, hey, Bob, hey, you're looking for a job? Come and talk to me. So I've got the perfect place. They do this, and for me, and my boss is just amazing. The HR person, never an issue. Never an issue in HR, is it? It's always a good, fun place. But use your team. Use your websites. Look to Facebook, look to LinkedIn. Use them. They're there. They're tools, they're resources for you to use. Don't be afraid to still use the paper, because you need to try every avenue you can. Because as I said, the pool's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, so you need to be out there making the biggest noise. Because the squeaky wheel gets the what? So the loudest person is normally going to get the most applications. Be creative. Don't forget about your team. Don't forget about social media. Think about those things. Facebook. There's about 3 or 4 job posting advert places on Facebook in Whangarei and Northland alone. And those are the ones that I play with. There's probably more. Okay? Doing myself out of job. I'm telling you how to do my job. Also, be unique. And I want you to just watch this. This is one of the biggest companies in the world. I want you to see how they're doing their recruitment. It's working. Cool, thank you.
What's your management style? Passion. And what's your biggest weakness? Being stubborn.
I can see all the HR people shuddering. He's holding their hand. It's inappropriate touching. Don't ask me what he was trying to do there. I don't know. I hope he's not yelling, jump! Much bet you what he's thinking right there. Can I just end it there? Who thought that was cool? Guess what they did with that once they've created that video? Where did they put it? Social media, on this thing called YouTube. Yeah, that's where I found it. And what did it make me do when I watched it? I went, oh, big smile. They were being creative. They used social media. They used a way to be creative to attract talent to them, and they looked at talent and went, what is the right person for our business? Because you need to be able to do that. Get it wrong, you're in trouble. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. 97 now, last research was around 97% of business-to-business interaction and businesses with employees is through social media or online sources. 97%, and I'm not talking just in New Zealand, because in New Zealand it might be a little bit less. This is the globe. It's all up in that cloud place. I keep looking for the cloud to see where my emails go because I can't find them again, but they're not just sitting there floating up there. But that's where it's going. And this is where we, if we do not know enough about that, need to look at people to assist us to find out. You know, even I worked out business Skype today. I feel quite proud of myself how to do that. So we need to be creative. We also need to think about how we're advertising our business. With it being social media, and I left my phone over there because I thought it would take off right in the middle of it, is the fact that if people are now looking for us, they're using these things. Cell phones. It's lucky I've got one of these now. I used to have one of those ones. But they're using smartphones. And when we're advertising for people, we must keep that in mind. We can't write war and peace in our adverts. We can't say we want all those things because they're going through like this. They need to be clearly to be able to see the opportunity that exists, the things that exist for your business, and how they will get them excited to say, hey, actually, I'm not that happy in my current role. I wouldn't mind going to work for them because they look cool. So you need to consider when you're advertising, considering how it shows and displays on these things. In Australia, 658,000 new ones of these go into the country every month. New Zealand's getting the same. I was talking to I think she was 11 yesterday. She said, oh, at Karma Intermediate, we have a place where we can store our cell phones. 11. 11. Scary. The world is changing. So, but what I tried to do, and I'm sorry about the small font, I couldn't get it any bigger. This is the sort of thing that your advert should look like if you're creating it for Seek, LinkedIn, for any other sort of platform. It should be really precise, it should be bullet pointed, and it should cover some key things. There should be a description about your company. If your company rocks, tell people it rocks, but don't just go on and on and on and on. We are the world's largest recruitment company. We are the #1 HR solutions provider in the world. We employ 1.4 million people each and every day, and we rock. Something like that. I can say that because I work for that company. It's very exciting. But you can put something about the role. The role is be specific. You can give it a bit of juicy words, but be specific about what you're trying to achieve. She's giving me the timings down here. It's like, oh, geez. But be specific about what you want. But a little paragraph. It doesn't have to be, again, war and peace. And then bullet point, key points of what you're looking for. Must have a driver's license. Have that there. I know this sounds really silly, but I've seen some adverts that have been 2 lines. I've seen some adverts that look like they're 6 pages. For me, in the social media age, and my job, you know, I'm a professional, so they say, is that I don't have time. I will go, that captures me, or no, it doesn't. Brain just goes like that. I can sit there scrolling through internet all day and I'm going, making a decision, oh, I'll buy that. Scroll through, I'll buy that. Because my brain is attuned to do that. It's not there to sit there and read all the specifications. So keep it short and sweet and punchy looking. Okay? Add your logos, if you've got one. Add your company website. And one of the big things I always find when people are doing adverts is they forget to put what on it? Contact details. One reason is they don't want people to call them, which in this market, I would like to tell you, that's a very foolish mistake. Okay, because, oh, I'm going to get inundated. But you need to be able to get someone to contact you. You need your website on there at least, because they need to be able to go and research you. Because guess what? People now have a choice. So they're not just going to, you're not just marketing to them, you know, as it come and work for it. They're going to go, oh, what's this business? What's it going to do for me? The generations are changing. So have people made mistakes like that before, where they've made those massive adverts and they've gone, oh, you must have this and this and this degree and all these sort of things? Has anyone done that? I have. Did it work? No. It wasn't until Seek and Trade Me, one of their account managers came and chatted to me and said, hey, have a think about this. Started doing this, and it turned out really well. I hope I get some royalties out of this, yeah, I'll be right. But if anyone needs that sort of format, have a look on Seek and Trade Me itself, or I can send this sort of format to you. You can have a look at it, play with it, but just don't go over the top when you're doing adverts. Okay, it should be easily read on a social media platform. And something that you can also cut down and share on Facebook or share on LinkedIn, or you can create it as a link, but something you can use across all your media platforms. Sick of talking about social media right now. So what else do we need to think about? And when I was doing this presentation, I was sitting there going, oh, this should be really at the start, or should it be in the middle? But the key thing is you need to, and this is one of the key points I want to give you, and you must make this today, is give yourself time to recruit. Who here's an SME business owner? Hands up if you own your own business. Ooh, who here's HR? Oh, geez. I'm going to try and be nice here. SME business owners. SME business owners, what do we not have a lot of? Time and normally money. Correct? Yep. Been an SME business owner. Yep, I know it hurts. Especially when you're trying to manage a whole thing. And I think even being a learning development manager, so you don't have enough time as well. But you don't have time. If you don't do this properly and you don't spend time, you're in trouble. Because guess what? It's going to cost you money at the end of it if you get it wrong. The HR professionals in this room, I'm not saying you don't work hard, but you're more set up to do this role because of the fact that is part of your specific function. And because I bet you all run very good teams and there's not any issues about anything within your business, you'll have plenty of time to do recruitment. Look at all the smiles. Allow yourself time. You can get inundated. To use an example, I was putting adverts up. I was getting to 100 to 150 adverts at a time for roles. Who here's got time to go through 100 and 150 adverts? No. But you need to make sure you've got time so you don't miss that gem because the market's getting smaller. So if you don't take anything out of this, is take some time to do it right. Make sure the people you're involving in your recruitment have time as well. So if you want your hiring manager to be involved, or if you want the direct point of contact, or you want someone within your business to be part of this process, ensure they have time. We have these things called calendars and Outlook and emails and messages. And I like this really novel thing where you actually go up and go, this is better, eh? I've seen 2 people send in emails and they work like here. My brain goes one and just go, huh. But, take the opportunity to make sure that they're booked in as well. Okay? We are dealing with people, so we should be ensuring that the people are included in what we do. And talking about time, I'm rushing through it now. So the other thing you need to be is prepared. Have a plan. Have a plan of attack. You may get all those CVs come in. So if you don't have a job description, you're already in trouble. If you haven't made time, you're in trouble some more. If you don't have things planned, such as a basic phone screening or questions to ask the person when you're making the call once you've read the CV, you're in trouble. Be planned, be prepared. Have things ready. And the other thing, the reason I say that is because you will look, and this is the 4th P, more professional. And because we're selling ourselves to them. Okay? And here's another little tip from me. Tell them where you are. Yes, they should be looking, but sometimes they get nervous. But make sure you're prepared so you're not nervous when you're doing that interview or anything within those HR sort of situations. Be prepared, and this is the other thing about being prepared, and I just quickly looked at my notes, to answer questions. They will be interviewing you. So be aware of your own company. If there's something being put up on your website that you've won an award, make sure you know about it, because you look a bit silly otherwise. But be prepared to be interviewed as well. The interview. My first ever interview, proper interview, was sitting in front of a room like this, or standing in front of a room like this with 7 people in front of me, all asking me questions. And one of them was a clinical psychologist. And no, I wasn't going to be put in the wards. I was going for a job. But I had to sit there and answer all their questions. And that was something that I had to do. But within interviews, it's your first chance to eyeball. They get to meet you, you get to meet them. Because anyone can write anything on a piece of paper, correct? Yep. I tell everyone I'm Brad Pitt. And when they ask me about my profile, a little bit like George Clooney. That's not true, eh? More like Jack Black. But it comes through that way. But you've got to be able to eyeball them. The things that I want you to think about, though, when they walk in the room, is these people could... And people get nervous. I got nervous before I walked in here today. We do get nervous. So you need to make them feel comfortable. You shouldn't be just shining lights in their eye. You want to see how they do operate under pressure, but you also need to make sure that you don't miss an opportunity because they're struggling with a little bit of pressure. They may be perfect for your role in each and every way, but they're having a bad day. The kid slept in today, the cat got run over. These things happen in life, don't they? Your house is flooding, and they come and they haven't had a chance. Lippy's all over here, or his shirt's untied, or he's put his runners on and hasn't got his dress shoes on. Make them feel comfortable, because then you'll get the best out of the interview. Remember questioning. You have 6 friends. Can anyone tell me who those 6 friends are when you come to questioning? It's not Phoebe, Joey, I can't remember, Chandler, Monica. Jeez, I'm trying to remember. It's not those guys. Okay, 6 friends have I. Who, what, where, how, and why. Those are your 6 friends. Ask open questions. Don't ask, have you worked here? Yes. Did you enjoy it? Yes. Don't do that. Ask open questions. So you worked here. Tell me about that role. What did you enjoy about that? I'm getting information out of them. Ask them behavioural questions. Who here knows what a behavioural question is? Okay, there's a couple of HR professionals in the room. Not up here. But behavioural questions is basically finding out how someone will do something when they're put in that situation. So, tell me about a time when you've had to manage a team of 3 people. Don't have to do that, I'm just saying. And it was a period of conflict within your business. What did you do? What was the outcome? And what will you do differently in the future? That's a behavioural question. Because next time that same situation will do, 9 times out of 10, she's going to go back and do the same thing. But what you did, not what your team did, what you did. So think about that when you're doing your interviewing. Be professional. Don't use the F-bomb. Don't ask inappropriate questions. You can't ask them about sex, religion, culture, anything like that. You can't do it. It's a no-go. Don't do it. You cost your business money, and some people have. I've seen business owners do it. Don't do it at McDonald's. Don't do it in your overalls. Yes, it may be specific if you run an engineering firm, but you're trying to sell your company as well. Normally, most people will turn up, in a suit and a tie, or in a dress shirt and a nice pair of pants, because they're wanting to present themselves. You need to be able to mirror that. Confidentiality is a key too. one thing I see all the time, geez, I interviewed so-and-so the other day down at the pub. Don't do that. I've actually had an interview in town, and it was for quite a large organisation. By the time I got back from the interview to the office that I was working in, my boss said to me, how did your interview go? Imagine how much money I could have made out of them. I didn't, but these are things you need to consider when it comes to recruitment. You can tell I'm not giving you everything. I'm trying to bullet point, but give you some key points, okay, guys? Don't hire yourself. I'm just looking at the time. Don't hire yourself. You do that, you get it wrong. Don't be afraid to hire people that are better than you. Guess what? If you hire someone better than you, you look better. Correct? If they're doing a great job and everything's going nice, you can say, oh, I did that. That was me. Okay? I'm going to run through this one, and this is something people forget to do in life in general. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There's a few HR professionals in this room that do it all the time. Most of you have got other jobs and other things that you need to do on a day-to-day basis, correct? So I'm going to just read from my mate, Barack. We're good buddies. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. I do that every day. Asking for help isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. It shows you have the courage to admit when you don't know something and then allows you to learn something new. Very powerful words, aren't they? One of the most powerful men in the world was up until the Saturday. He's probably still got a bit of power in the world at the moment. But he's willing to say, hey, I don't know it all. And we don't. None of us in this room know it all. Okay? When I came in today, I was sitting through the videos going, hey, can you make sure this works? Because I didn't know if I could make it work.
And then I had to ask someone.
Yeah, exactly. So when I'm saying asking for help, don't be afraid to talk to agencies such as us. We're not here to bite your hand off, and we don't always have to charge you money. But we do this day to day. 1.4 million people, it's our job. Don't be afraid to talk within your team. Don't be afraid to talk to the Orchard. Don't be afraid to talk to Northland Inc., the Chamber of Commerce. Talk to other businesses that in your BNI groups or others that you think are really good recruiters. Do not be afraid to ask for help. Do not be afraid to test what you are looking for. Anyone heard of the CCTV building in Christchurch? What was his qualification worth? What happened there? Collapsed. People lie. I have so many people come into my room and say, I'm excellent at Excel and Word and da-da-da-da. I test them. Oh, you're at beginner level. See, if someone asked me nowadays, I'd say, oh, I'm not even at beginner. I'm still at toddler. Because the thing is that you need to test these skills. It's written on a piece of paper. Do not believe it. Business owners and SME businesses, I've seen you do it all the time, and I'm not being rude. I used to be a business coach as well. Oh, he was a good guy. Hired them. Next minute, they find out they've got drug issues, conviction issues, all these things that you didn't know about because you didn't ask for help or you didn't take the time to find out. 90-day trial, it's awesome, eh? You all know about the 90-day trial? Guess what? So does the employee. So they go, oh, hey, I'm great, look at me. Turn up each day and do my work. Day 91. 10 minutes late today, it's okay. I'm here. They do know, and I have seen. I'm not saying everyone, but I'm saying that you need to make sure you've done your homework to get it right. Because if you get it wrong, quite topical at the moment. If you get it wrong, you could have a carpenter, instead of building 10 metres of wall, he could build 100 kilometres of wall. You could have someone that could not, could think that health and safety is actually not true. And because there's no scientific fact to back up the fact that health and safety is a true thing. You may have someone that comes into your business and actually causes corruption, or may have an agenda, may have something where they don't fit in with all the cultures. That can happen if you do this wrong. And guess what? How much that's going to cost you? It can cost you thousands. In some instances, hundreds of thousands of dollars. In worst case scenarios, it can cost you someone's life. And I'm being honest. You get the wrong person, you could kill someone. Who wants to go home with that on their conscience? No one. So just think about that. If you get it wrong, you're in trouble. There's a little calculation we do back at work. It works out, it will cost you 2 to 4 times the person's salary to get a new person if you get it wrong. So if you've got someone on 50K, it will cost you upwards of $100,000 to $200,000 to replace them. Who here's got a spare $100,000 to $200,000 in the bank account ready to spurge? I saw the bank in here somewhere. They've probably got a few. We can help. Yeah, you have to go to learn. But you can't afford to because it takes up your time, training, resources, all those sort of things that you need to think about when you're doing your recruitment. So if you don't do it right, it can cost you money, and we don't have time and we don't have money. We do have it, we just don't want to give it to other people. Just weary of my time here myself. That's about it from me today. It was a real snapshot. It was a real, hey, think about these key points. This is what I do. These are the things that I think you should consider. I hope you've got something out of today. I've got a few minutes left for questions. Please feel free. And I do want to thank you for all your interaction today. Sometimes I've stood in front of rooms and they were like, you go. It's been great that you've been involved. So thank you for your time today. And I do want you to, if you could, give Kayla some really positive feedback, not about my presentation, about the fact that the Orchard's willing to do this and the fact that the Orchard's here. Because I think the more we get up on our soapbox and cheer and shout, we may get more funding and may support more support, which if it benefits Northland, it benefits my family, benefits your family, and benefits all of us. Okay? So any questions from the room before I finish? Yep.
So I'm pretty happy with my job.
Good.
Once every 12 months, I think you want to remind yourself how good you have it. So I apply for jobs. The one thing that you find is you never hear back from 8 out of 10.
Yep. I did the same thing. I teach this for a living. So I went into for a room of recruitment professionals and I put adverts out. No, I put my CV out to all recruitment companies. And I thought my CV's pretty good, been in recruitment for quite a period of time, I've got a few skills. Guess how many came back to me? 3 months later, I had 5 people come back to me. What was my impression of that? If you're going to make a commitment, even if it's an email or don't text, but an email or something saying, or even if you've done it on social media, hey guys, we've had a great response, everything's on hold while we review the response that we've got so far. Please don't be disappointed if it takes a time for us to get back. At least the person's getting some sort of feedback or touch point from you. Okay.
Jamie, there was a word in the Heineken video.
Yep.
It began with V, and it was the type of interview technique.
Oh, jeez.
I could read it, but I don't know what it means.
Let me get you back to that. I'll send you. I'll get back to you on that one. No, good question, well asked. Shit, I should have watched that video harder. She looked for it.
It's obviously a concept.
It's a concept of how they're doing the recruitment. They're looking at different ways. And the key point of that whole thing is you need to look at unique ways and different ways because the market and pool's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. One thing I didn't say, and I'm sorry, I'll get the gentleman in the back, is you can train people. Don't be afraid to do that. But if you're going to do that, don't expect them to be rocket stars at the staff and allow for that in your budget. Gentleman at the back.
Yeah, background checks on.
Yep.
How do you do that?
There's a couple of options. There's a Ministry of Justice check that you can do, which there's no cost to that. They have to fill out a form. It does take some time. You can actually get that supplied at a cost. Which I think it shortens it by about, I think it's down to 2 weeks instead of 3 months. So you can do that. You can do drug screening if that's what you're looking for. There's, you can do police checks, but that's in a bit of a grey area at the moment. They're just reviewing that. But you can do those checks. And you've got every right to ask the person as part of your screening process, this is what I require you to do. But don't employ them, then do it, because it's too late. Do it before. I've seen people do that. Oh, I've employed you, you're great. I'll get you to do this form. Oh, you've got 6 or 7 charges and you've got all these things in the background that I don't want you for. Yep.
Perspective, past employers, how much?
Reference checks? Yeah, reference checks are important and they're very important, but you've got, again, it comes up to you when you're preparing yourself and preparing the person that you're trying to employ, is giving the information. I need from you 2 current reference checks, not someone when you were at 16 mowing lawns. I need someone from last week where you were last employed or last month, what you were doing, the role, and the key point of contact. But you've got to be very clear, and this is where you're becoming prepared, telling them what you want so you can do those references. References are key. Because I've rung a reference before, he said, oh, he's a great reference. Rung him up and I said, I've got this person, he's got all these skills. He said, yeah, he's great, we fired him. He committed fraud. He stole from me. He punched my supervisor. I'm just using these as bad examples, but this can happen. And if you haven't done the reference check, what are you ending up with? Someone who's not going to fit your culture. They're very important, reference checks.
With the situation where they're obviously coming, they don't want to put the current employees or
That is a difficult one. It is a difficult one because they are going, well, I don't really want you to ring them. Because I don't want to, I may lose my job if I don't get this one. It is when you have to be quite, it comes down to your testing. You can ask either character references or if they've done any volunteer work that you could potentially ask, or a colleague and then say to them, if we shortlist you, we would need to conduct a reference with your, so if you're getting to the last 2, we would need to conduct that reference. So it's about that conversation. If they don't want to do it, you have to say, well, I need to be able to do it to feel confident in my mind because it could cost you money. Yeah.
You talked about him approaching you for work or talking about things that you know about work. Is it okay that it's word of mouth? Because I was told that needs to be, advertised.
Oh, roles need to be advertised. You still need to advertise your roles, but I'm saying you should be using your team as well to be able to connect into their network, because they then have to formally come back through and apply like anyone else. Yeah, so it's okay to say, hey, did you hear we've got a job on the go, because you could have it on your notice board. Would you be interested in applying? That happens all the time. Yeah, that's okay. Linking the two. You can't just go down to Jimmy down at the water cooler and go, oh yeah, the boss is leaving. I think you'd be great for it. That does happen, but I want you to think about it. But, it should be advertised, but using your word of mouth, it's a really powerful tool, and it costs you, guess what? 0.
What's the level of documentation that you should really hold on file? Otherwise, someone didn't get a job with the
Ooh, that's a tough question. That's a good question. You don't want to disclose everything, and you've got to be very careful when you're making notes, because people can ask for that information back. So you've got to. And that's why I said be professional. You can't say, was it a drop kick? Just not a good look, because people aren't. People are all different. They could have been nervous. There could have been things going on. You can put person's presentation wasn't suitable or professional enough. The communication skills lacked depth, and skill set and CV wasn't matched to the job description or the role that we're advertising. Something really professional. Have that as a note. You can have some key points. If there are some specific things like convictions or failed to pass a drug screen, you can put those in special notes, but under a confidential side of things, because you have the right to screen.
Does scoring matrices sort of work? Because I know I've been through a number of interviews and you see the 1 to 5 scale, a whole lot of competencies and attitudes and weighted.
Yeah, that's if you're doing, I suppose you can do your psychometric testing, you can do all those range of things that if you want to do. You can keep those on file. A person can have a copy of them. We give them out when they get tested if they would like a copy of them. You can have that on file. There's nothing wrong there. It's them at that time, But at the end of the day, you're making a decision based on if they're going to be the right fit for your role. And you have the right to say no. I teach my recruiters this every time, and I said it's the big thing. Everyone wants to say what? What are we taught as kids? What should we always do when an adult asks us to do something? You have the right to say no. Get it wrong and it costs us thousands, hundreds of thousands. Any other questions? Because I'm very wary. I've gone over time. I'm in trouble. Anything else? Guys, you've been a great audience. Thank you for your questions. I hope this has been helpful. If you want to catch up with me, I work at a deco, or most of you know me anyway. You can jump on the phone and give me a ring, or Kayla's got my details. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed the session.
Yeah, awesome. That's it, guys. Until next time, you've got the flyer for that. I just want to say thank you.